Greetings, folks. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Al Green, and I'm the Task Force's Ministry Director. I come to you from our new home, which we are this close to being able to move into. Several years ago, we embarked on this ambitious goal to purchase a house to host asylum seekers, to reduce our monthly expenses, and to support more folks. 1 year ago, we were able to purchase this home, and a few months later, we embarked on extensive renovations. None of this would have been possible without your help, so thank you. The work that we collectively do is profound. In a bit, you'll get a behind the scenes look at the process, but before then, I invite you to continue bidding on the amazing silent auction items, donating towards housing and feeding asylum seekers. And if you're not already watching this through our website, you can do all of this at lgbtasylum.org/gala. The auction has been open all week and will close Sunday at 3 p.m. We've got some really exciting items, including artwork from supporters like you, one-of-a-kind task force branded items, and a private concert with cast members from the Broadway musical Hamilton. All right, no more delay. I believe that Pastor Judy is about to start the intake process with a new asylum seeker. Come, let's listen in.
Irene, I'm glad you got to us.
Thank you very much for having me. When James told me there was an organization that could help me, I couldn't believe it. Mm-hmm. And he told me, yes, it's a church and they're good people. They help LGBT people. I had no other option. And I told him, you know what? This is my only option. And I hope they can have a space for me.
And we do.
Yeah. And says, they're good people. They'll help you. I am just so glad to be here. And thank you.
You're very welcome. I mean, it seems to me that we do have to have your story so that we can have it on record on our organization. It's confidential, and I wanted to let you know that you're very, very welcome here, and I can tell by the way you look that you're happy to be here.
I am happy to be here.
Can you tell me a little bit about why you're here? You're from Uganda?
Yes.
But a lesbian. You knew you were a lesbian for how long?
So my journey started a lot earlier. I was in my teenage years and I realized I was different from other people. But knowing that I'm gay and, I just had, different feelings. And it was something that we never were allowed to even talk about. It was like prohibited evil. So I always felt like, I'm different, but I wasn't free to really come out and, experience, any of that. And I had a girlfriend, but we kept it pretty much hidden until one day we were caught sharing a kiss, and of course we were thrown out of school, and that's how my parents got to know. And that was like almost the beginning of all the troubles and everything. I was always called the evil child, the troubled one. My mom just tried as much as possible to help me, to
How
heal
did she
me.
help you?
She would take me to church. And they would pray over me. They would have all these, they would hold prayers and try to get the devil out of my head. She would take me to prayer mountains, would stay there for like a week, just praying and fasting. And being a kid, I didn't really understand what was going on. And I think I also believed I was possessed at that point.
You believed you were possessed?
Yes, because I didn't know any better, I thought that this is something that almost like just comes into you and, So every time they would say she's evil, I also tried pretty much to change. My dad just decided one day, you know what? We've got you somewhere to stay. And pretty much I was excited because after my mom passed away, I was alone, nowhere to go, bounced from one home to another. And when they said I had somewhere to go, I felt like, maybe one of my relatives had finally accepted to take me in. And we traveled a long way and reaching
You
there.
and your dad traveled
Yes.
a long way.
So we got there and
There's a tissue right there.
And I was told, you know what, this is where you're going to stay. And pretty much they showed me around. This is everything. This is your room. This is where you're going to stay. And I was like, oh, this is a good place. And after like 2 days, that's when I realized what exactly was going on. My dad had literally just carried me and taken me to get married to someone. At that point, this man just comes in, and at first I don't get it right away. Not until later in the night when I'm sleeping and this guy walks into the room. And at that point, I'm screaming, thinking, what is going on here? And he said, what do you think you were doing here? Didn't they tell you what you're going to do here? And for years, I lived in an abusive marriage that I was forced in by my dad. A lot of unspeakable things were done to me.
I'm sorry.
I was abused almost every night. He was a drunkard. He would come back and pretty much hit you every day and, force you to do all sorts of things.
I'm so sorry.
And I wished every single night that I would just not wake up. I just wanted everything to stop. I tried a lot of things to just try and end it, And I'd just wake up the next day. For some reason, God wouldn't let me die. And I prayed for that every day to at least, if he can't heal me, then let me go.
You're still wanting to be
Yeah.
healed.
I still felt like there was something wrong with me.
Jesus.
And I wanted to get better. And it went on for years.
How many years? Do you have any idea?
It went on for close to 5 years.
Oh my
And I was there. And
did you have any fun? Did you meet any people? No.
I literally just stayed in there all the time, did the cleaning and whatever he wanted me to do. He just paid me off and I had to do whatever he wanted to do.
Oh my gosh, 5 years.
Yeah. And I wasn't allowed to move around. I didn't know anyone there. But when I finally started just moving around and, just talking to people, sometimes when you would go to the like mini markets where you can buy very quick, groceries, and like when you're going to cook, I met a lady who was running a stall for food. And he kept on asking me, we've never seen you before. And I would tell them I stay in a house just down the road. And like, how long have you been there? So she was always very interested in knowing who I was.
And eventually...
Yeah. And eventually I
told her everything.
I didn't tell her so much of the details of who I was because you never know who doesn't, like gay people in Uganda.
Right.
Pretty much everyone.
But you told her that you were in an abusive relationship.
And she offered to help me if I wanted to. And just one day I woke up when he wasn't around and just ran. And she said, I'll get you somewhere. Someone needs help.
Thank you, Jesus, for that angel.
We just kept moving from, one place to another. But I finally managed to get work that I could pay my own housing. And that's how life started changing.
Could you tell me what that work was like?
So there was this arts organization that organized different festivals, different events. They did trainings in music, dance. It's basically multidisciplinary, and it was And I started working there as a volunteer at first. And then finally I got a job and I started going through all those trainings. I wanted so bad to be trained to
learn.
To wake up one day and feel like I'm something, like I'm worth something. Like if someone said my name, it would mean something, because for a very long time I was nothing. I was the devil. I was the cursed one. And I wanted, deep inside me, I still had that hole to feel like,
good for you.
that I'm something, I wanted to make something out of myself.
So you ended up working actually with the LGBT community, didn't you?
Yes.
I thought you said that on the way over.
During one of the trainings that we had, I remember properly, it was festival directors, and it was a training, management training. How do you run a festival and an event? There was this gentleman, and he was introducing himself and said, I am a gay person. Of course, the room went silent.
Really?
Yeah. Literally, who does that? Everyone looked at him different, but he didn't even care. He just said, I am gay and I have a vision to create the only gay festival in Uganda. And everyone looked at him and said, this guy is gonna die. How dare you even do that? But I was so inspired.
You were inspired.
For a long time, I kept this inside me. I didn't even think that there's going to be any time where I would discuss who I was.
Be able to stand
here was
up
a
there.
man who would, irrespective of what everyone said after that, he didn't care. He said, we exist in Uganda, and it's time for people to stop pretending like we don't exist. There's a community of gay people here, and we also deserve to be heard. The authority gets, up. We did all these, activities for a while, but eventually they caught up to us, and a lot of people ended up in prison. Those who had the opportunity left the country. And for me, I wasn't just me. I had a child.
Right.
So it wasn't as easy for me to just pack up my bags and leave, because there was someone that depended on me. So I didn't leave right away. Of course, during my work with this organization, we got to travel. So I had traveled in different countries.
Oh.
I had visas.
You did? You had a visa. That's a big
Yeah.
deal. It's not easy to get a visa.
Yeah, but because of the work that we did and the fundraisings, and we used to attend different events in different countries in Europe. And so just one day, I'm just going to work and I am taken in by authorities.
You're taken in by authorities.
And I've never in my life seen so much, hate in people. And the things that they did to us, sometimes I can't get the strength to even repeat them.
But Irene, you're here.
I'm here right
You got
now.
out. What
and
happened?
I would just say it's just a miracle. I still can't believe I'm here myself. And I was just let go.
They just let you go. No bribe, no anything.
This gentleman just came in, and of course during that time I was there, they would, interrogate you all the time, ask you all these questions, you need to give up your people, you guys have been getting funding to spoil the country, and there were all these things that were working against the government. We are bringing in money from gay people to spoil the country. We need to know who you're working with. You're not going to leave this place. And this guy just came up and looked at me and said, how old are you? Why don't you just give us the information that we need? Why do you need to die, for them? Why are you protecting them? Just tell us the organizations that you're working with. And I just kept on telling them, I don't know what you're talking about. We are not promoting anything. We are just trying to help people.
That was
who need
brave,
help.
Irene.
There's a point when you reach and you know you're not going to make it. It doesn't matter what you say. I wasn't going to make it. And I think after a few days, I had come to terms with that. And of course, I didn't even think that even if I made it, I would live with myself after all the things that had been done to me. But luckily,
He let you go.
they let me go. And I remember just running and, the whole process, I couldn't believe it. But for some reason, I got my way to, go to my sister's place. One of my sisters, the only one I had kept contact with. And
You made your decision.
I went there, and luckily for me, my son was there too. They had taken him there when I went missing. Yeah, but I told my sister I had a visa, and if I could, find a way of, raising money, I could leave the country. And she helped me borrow money. We put money together. I bought a ticket, and that's how I ended up coming to the US.
Did you just come to California or whatever? How did you know where to go? It's
So
a big
my
country.
sister had a friend. I think they had gone to school together and kept in touch. And I was just very desperate to try something. So this one time, I woke up in the morning in a lot of pain. I couldn't even walk at that point. And I see a message saying hello. So I just respond and say, hey, hello. And he was saying, oh, I'm just checking on you.
It was James.
Yeah, it was James. And I said, oh, yeah. So I said, you know what, I need to talk to someone. So I told him I'm not happy where I am right now, and I don't have anywhere to go. Do you know anyone who can help me? And things like that. And he said, yes, there's a big Ugandan community in Worcester, and if you'd like, I'll just take you and you meet, other people, and maybe they can help you. I said, fine. And I remember deep inside me, I was like, let me just go. I'm not going to tell anyone that I'm not going to come back. I'm just going to go and I won't come back.
Oh, so you went with James to meet people in Worcester and you brought your baby and your stuff.
I didn't have much because I only had
Right. But you brought your baby.
Suitcase, yes. But I came. So I told the lady, you know what, I was going to someone is just taking me, I've been here ever since I came. I don't go anywhere. She said, no, yeah, it's okay. I'll be around so you can go.
And that's how you got to Worcester.
And James just came, and when we came, there were all these, people who were just proud to be gay. And, when you meet Ugandans and they're proud to be gay, it's different.
Very different.
From
Very
where
different.
we come from, we don't talk about things like that. We're so much told to keep everything inside. And I met people who are just openly gay, and they would tell you, discuss all these things. And I was just so scared, even telling anyone.
Still.
But when they started opening up, I told
James.
I told them my story. And they said, wait, you don't need to go back. The thing that I wanted to hear, you don't need to go back. We know of
an
organization that can help you. It helps asylum seekers, LGBT people, and they can find you a place to stay.
And that's how we got connected.
And they introduced me to you.
I can't even believe it.
I know.
Irene, you're an incredibly strong human being. I am honored to say that we take you in. I am honored that you have made it this far. It is a miracle. You're supposed to be here. You have a job. You're a human rights activist, if I ever heard of one. And I know you're a Christian, so I know that God has brought you here. And I don't have to do anything else except to tell you that you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, that's kind of, tough to hear. And yet, I'm so grateful that you made it. So you're here, and I'm going to show you where you're going to stay.
Thank you for giving me a place to stay. And
Our honor.
it's a lot hard when you come to a foreign country and you don't know who to turn to, or you don't know.
And I can imagine, as a Christian, you were afraid of a Christian church.
Yeah, when I heard that the organization I'm being taken to was a church-based organization, I said no.
Yeah.
No way am I going back to be, told that I am cursed. Let's
No.
try and help you, make you better.
Hello, my name is Maurice Newman. The journeys of asylum seekers are varied. I too am an asylum seeker, and just like Irene, I overcame enormous mountains to get where I am today. While in Jamaica, I had a pretty comfortable life. I graduated from college with my first degree in elementary education, and very soon after became living my dream of becoming a teacher. It did not take me very long to start accumulating accolades, as within 2 years I was recognized nationally for my devotion, dedication, and excellence in the profession. I was extremely active in church. I was youth leader for my congregation, moved up to becoming the Sunday school teacher, went on to serve as the spiritual coordinator for youth nationally, served as the youth synod rep for my region, then became the region youth coordinator. And as you would imagine, the third Sunday in my congregation was mine to do the sermon. I was being prepared as a prime candidate for seminary. Of course, all this time I knew who I was and was secretly living that life. The life of being a member of the LGBT plus community. This is punishable by up to 10 years at hard labor in Jamaica. Can you believe that? Sadly, the day came when my sexuality was revealed, and I dared not stay in my home, my community, and my country. I could not continue with my job and my church. Is suicide an option? Having failed at the first attempt a while back, I decided that I wanted to live, to love, to be loved, and to be free. And so, with nowhere to go, I boarded a plane for the United States with no definite destination in mind. Praise God for a friend of mine who knew of the task force. Have you had a life-changing moment? I was provided with a safe accommodation, a monthly stipend of $500 to pay for groceries, phone bill, and toiletries. It was tight, but I was alive, I was safe, and I was free. Thank you to all donors of the task force. You saved me. You continue to save many more like me. Have you ever experienced a moment of renewed hope? As an openly gay person, I found a church where my gifts were recognized, at the corner of Clover and Knox Street in Worcester, Massachusetts, a place where asylum seekers from over 70 countries continue to arrive in despair, heartbroken, and trying to stay alive. At Hadron Park Church, I mentor the 2020 confirmation class, sing in the choir, teach Sunday school, and sit on a few committees. Having been granted asylum and being able to work, I now serve as the Associate Ministry Director of the task force. Giving back, paying it forward, is my greatest desire. Enabling people to become their best selves gives me great joy. To you, donors, the task force is but a springboard for asylum seekers. Being part of this program is not the end. It is but a new beginning. It is a place that helps us to overcome. Like myself, there are so many other success stories. Timothy from Nigeria is a scientist working at Boston Children's Hospital in the COVID Studies Department. Linford, our very first asylum seeker, is Director of Health Promotion at AIDS Project Worcester. And there are so many others. We have entrepreneurs out there, from a moving company to a wedding design consultant. 4 asylum seekers have bought homes. Many are married and are creating families and futures. Our stories are sad like Irene's. They are heartbreaking. But thanks to you, gracious donors, who keep this ministry going.
you have given me, and so many others like me, the chance that so many others may not live to see. We are all grateful for your continued support and dedication in making bridges that will enable others like me to overcome.
As you might well imagine, pulling this off is no easy task. I must thank the group of people who have worked and are still working tirelessly to make this all possible. The committee that I sit on with Lynn Schuyler, Denise Diagrand, Pastor Judy Handlin, Billy Auclair, and Maurice Newman have been meeting consistently since February. Thank you to Marvin Nunez of News Graphic Design and Brett McGuire for donating their services. I must give special thanks to our Gala sponsors. Please consider supporting their businesses. Folks, let me be real with you. These past 2 years have not been easy. They've been extremely difficult as a result of the COVID-19 restrictions, racial strife, and an ever-increasing need for services. However, folks like you have stepped up to reach out to asylum seekers and provide comfort, and you have increased your regular donations that are the fuel of this ministry. Thank you. The struggle is long and the mountains keep multiplying, but together we will climb them. We shall overcome. The LGBTQ people who are fleeing persecution and seeking safety within our shores, with your help too, shall overcome. Now, it costs $40,000 per month to do this work. We've set a goal of raising $150,000 as Gala, which amounts to just over 3 months of support. Can you donate $1,200 towards this goal? That's the cost of supporting one asylum seeker for 1 month. Just click on and hold the button that is on your screen. Again, $1,200 is what it takes to support each asylum seeker each month. Can you donate now towards that? Maybe $1,200 is too steep for you. Can you do $500? This is how much it costs to set each asylum seeker up with groceries, clothing, and a cell phone to stay in touch with us, their lawyers, and their healthcare providers. Again, just click on and hold the button that is on your screen. Again, it costs $500 to set each new asylum seeker up with basic necessities. What can you do to help with that? In going virtual, we didn't sell any tickets to this year's Gala. Would you consider donating $90, which would have been the cost of a ticket? Again, just click on and hold the button that is on your screen. Again, $90 would have ordinarily been the cost of admission if we were able to meet in person. Please consider donating that right now. We really need your help. You can donate other amounts and make multiple donations through our website, lgbtasylum.org/gala. Folks, that concludes our formal program for this evening. But be sure to stick around for our virtual 1-hour dance party with DJ Alexei. Alexei is an asylum seeker from Russia who is a remarkable singer and musician. The party will begin in a few minutes. You'll have just enough time to replenish your drinks, make another donation, and bid on some more silent auction items. Remember that the silent auction will close at 3 p.m. on Sunday. We leave you with the continued rendition of We Shall Overcome by the All Nations Chorale and their friends from Haddon Park Church. The All Nations Chorale is composed of asylum seekers that span the period of the task force's existence. You will notice that some have chosen to wear masks. They do this in solidarity with the millions of LGBTQ people from their home countries who are still in hiding and cannot show their faces. Thank you so much for your immense support, and have a great evening.